Hello, Squirrel Tribe. In less than 24 hours, the circus, the biggest circus of the year, will be hitting Chicago, Illinois. And by the biggest circus of the year, yes, I do mean the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, starts off tomorrow. Today is August 18th. Tomorrow, August 19th through August 22nd in Chicago, all hell will be breaking loose. Just so we all know exactly what to be prepared for. I saw something yesterday that... it's one of those things where you see it and you think to yourself, this is a joke. We're all getting punked. There is no way this is real. They would never. But no, they have. So I want everybody to see exactly what I'm talking about. Let me tell you exactly what I'm talking about. This is a report from Colin Rugg. And yes, I do have news articles and clips from New York Post and other publications online. And according to this, the DNC, the Democratic National Convention attendees, are being offered free abortions and vasectomies this week in Chicago. Planned Parenthood Great Rivers is setting up a mobile center so women can abort their unborn children and men can get their tubes chopped. I think it's chopped with men. Women, I think we get our tubes tied. The group is offering medication abortions on Monday and Tuesday and free vasectomies on Monday. An appointment reservation form says the services are on a sliding fee scale. Pay what you can and get the health care you need. And the reservations are made by a Google form. Google doing the most right now. But here's what's interesting to me. The medication abortions. There are different types of abortions for those of you who do not know. There are the kind that they will put you to sleep. They go in through your uterus and they basically scrape you out. And it is the most disgusting, painful thing you can even imagine from what I've heard and what I have read. It's not something I would wish that any woman would need to do or want to do. There is also the medication one, which is what they are offering in Chicago over the next 3 days, where you basically take a pill and it will cause a miscarriage is what that is. So it's called a medical abortion, but basically it is a medicated miscarriage. That way, maybe you feel a little bit better about doing this. Now, I will always say there are reasons why women might possibly do this. It does not mean everybody has to be on board with it. The fact that the DNC is making this a party situation. Hey, ladies, everybody come get an abortion. Guys, come get your tubes chopped. Woohoo! Free cookies and juice kind of thing. If you really cared about the people and you really wanted to help them, why not free screenings for diabetes? Why not free screenings for, I don't know, breast cancer? Why not free health screenings? Why not free food? Maybe, because this is not free. What they're about to do is not free. And this is being paid for by the DNC. You can guarantee that out of that money that Kamala Harris was given, raised, whatever, that is going to pay for these abortions and these tube choppings. If you have that kind of money to throw at things like this, why not offer free healthy food, fruits and vegetables and meats and things like that, as opposed to the highly processed stuff that are on grocery store shelves? Why not offer insulin for people who need insulin for their diabetes or whatever else? Why is this what they want to do in order to bring people in? I know why. And a lot of people don't like having this conversation, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. You have to step back and look at the fact that we are, I don't even like saying the word overpopulated because there's so much free land and everything else, but resource-wise, maybe we are overpopulated, right? The government would like to reduce population. Even Kamala Harris herself had a slip up in one of her speeches. I don't know if it was last year. I don't remember when it was. She was supposed to say reduce pollution, but she had I don't know if it was a Freudian slip or what, but she said reduce population when she was talking about healthcare and food and things like that. Reduce population. When you have a party, the Democratic Party, who is pushing so flippin' hard for gay, lesbian, transsexual, transgender, all these different things that generally speaking are not going to produce children, and then they add in free abortions and tube tying, that just tells you everything you need to know about the Democrats. They are looking for that population control, that reduced population of citizens. They're not reducing the population in the United States by way of illegal immigrants. They're letting those people in all day long. But for us here, they're like, hey, maybe if you were gay, you know, we'd have less mouths to feed. Or maybe if you know, go get an abortion or get your tubes chopped, there's less mouths to feed that way, which is interesting after they overturned Roe v. Wade. So it's like, it doesn't fully make sense to me, but here we are at a time in our society where the big draw for the DNC for some people will be a free abortion or free tube tying. How absolutely effed up is that? So the rest of this, I have the notes here. So this is from the New York Times. So again, we're going to have receipts. I'm not just making things up, pulling stuff out my butt. This is like legit going on. The I think mainstream media has started talking about it today. Side note, I apologize for not being here yesterday, but my mother is moving about an hour away from me, so we were busy moving stuff for her because family will always come first. I love you all immensely, but family will always come first. But here we are today. So, according to this New York Times, this is a newsletter on politics. Free vasectomies and an inflatable IUD. Abortion rights advocates hit the DNC. This convention is likely to be a head-on display of a new unbridled abortion politics, which is what will happen if Kamala Harris were to win. People are worried about Donald Trump coming into office again and taking away all your rights. Well, you had those same rights when he was in office the last time. He's not trying to come in and take away your rights. He thinks abortion rights should be up to the state, not a federal thing, right? Kamala Harris, though, thinks that anybody and everybody should be able to get an abortion. You're 13 and you decided to have sex for the first time and bad things happen. Oh, it's okay, little girl, go get an abortion. Oh, you're 8 and you think that you're a girl when you're a boy. Oh, it's okay, little boy, go get your penis chopped off. That is what Kamala Harris wants. And not only does it destroy the children of our country, it also, again, ensures a lower population in the future. And I think that needs to really be heard and thought about and internalized and then talked about amongst yourselves. We have got to have these conversations, no matter how off the wall they sound, no matter how uncomfortable they may be for some people. The less we talk about things, the more they get away with things. And that's what people seem to have forgotten. If you keep everything behind closed doors, then you don't see what's happening right in front of you because you're too afraid to talk about it. You turn a blind eye to it. And then we end up where we are, August 18th, 2024, with the possibility of Kamala Harris as a president of the United States. This batshit crazy alcoholic who never won a primary to even be on the Democrat ballot to begin with after they forced a coup on Joe Biden. This is where we are because people like to, you know, hush hush talk and not have these open conversations because they don't want to get looked at weirdly by their friends, their family, their strangers. Guess what? Everybody has an opinion. Wait, how does it go? Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Buttholes if you want to be all PG with it, but whatever. But here's the thing. Y'all, I love y'all immensely, but your opinion of me does not determine how I feel about me. If you are sitting there watching me going, oh, look at this moron, blah, blah, blah. Cool. That's your opinion. I still think I'm a good person and I'm bringing you information that everybody needs to have. You have to be able and willing to have these conversations with people. Do not let people scare you into silence. Okay. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. The New York Post. Free abortions and vasectomies, an 18-foot tall inflatable IUD called Frida Womb. Frida, F-R-E-E-D-A, Frida Womb, to be erected at DNC in Chicago. The downfall of society is happening right before our very eyes. Media, generally speaking, mainstream media, is sugarcoating it. They're turning it into this great thing. Oh, yay, look what, you know, the Democrat National Convention is doing for these men and women who don't have health insurance and can't get these things on their own. They're going to spin it as a silver lining, as a positive. And at the end of the day, it's not. It is still them making it seem like an abortion is the same thing as putting on a condom. And it's not. They're making it look like abortion is just as easy as abstinence, which at this point in time, it is. It's absolutely ridiculous to me either way. Now, we talked about this on, my nose itches, I'm sorry. We talked about this on, today's Sunday, so on Friday, how in Chicago, businesses are literally boarding up. They are terrified of what's about to happen. It's going to be worse than the 1968, I believe is the year, that Chicago hosted the DNC and everything was, you know, buck wild there. They're expecting way more destruction this DNC. So according to this is from Chuck Calesto over on X. House Democrats attending the Democratic National Convention next week are being advised, y'all, the irony here, are being advised by congressional security officials not to book hotel rooms under their own names or engage with protesters if confronted. This is according to Axios. Democratic lawmakers are fearful about their safety after being rattled by a series of disruptive pro-Palestinian protests. You know who didn't get any of that? The RNC. I'm just going to leave it there like that. The RNC did not have this issue. Businesses were not boarding up. People were not scared. They were not told to book rooms under different names. They were not putting a wall around the city, which is what we're about to get to, which is the irony of ironies that they want to build a wall. The Democratic National Convention, the Democrats want to build a wall. It's just ironic to me. Anyways, so according to this New York Post, roughly 100,000 anti-Israel protesters expected to descend on Chicago to steal the spotlight from the DNC Harris Walz ticket. Now, this is because they say that a lot of people are upset with the fact that Kamala seems to be pro-Israel, when you have more people who are pro-Palestine, pro-Palestine. And so you have this clashing of heads, right? And we talked about this previously, but I would like to remind everybody that there were pro-Palestine protesters, PPPs, at one of the Kamala Harris rallies, right? Well, she seemed like it was like something that she wasn't expecting. Now, keep in mind that at Kamala Harris rallies, you have to have a driver's license and RSVP to get in. Although for the Democrats, they don't think you should have a driver's license to be able to vote for the presidency. So again, more irony from the left. So when the first one happened, she was all like, I'm talking up here, you know, whatever. Then the next rally, of course, they had to have more pro-Palestinian protesters, but then she had a script to go along with it. And again, at that rally, protest, whatever, you had to have a driver's license and you had to RSVP. So they knew what was coming. This 100,000 anti-Israel protesters expected to descend on Chicago. Here's the problem. It's the people of Chicago who are about to get hurt the most, because whatever happens there, the businesses that get destroyed, the cars that get hurt, the fires that are set, any of these things, it's not going to hurt the Democrats. They get to pack up and leave when it's all said and done. It's going to hurt the city of Chicago, the same city that unfortunately wanted to be a sanctuary city, the same city that is for the left. That's why they're having the DNC there. At the end of this, does Chicago say, screw blue, we're not doing this anymore, go red? Like, you have to wonder, what does it take to make people open their eyes and see that one side is way more violent and irrational than the other side? Is it going to be the burning down of their city that's going to make them open their eyes? Just out of curiosity, I'm very curious how this is going to work. Let me show you this one here. So this, according to work, so this is what they are expecting. All right, you see this? You see this? 100,000 anti-Israel protesters are expected to descend on Chicago for the DNC next week, which is now starting tomorrow. The protests come as the left becomes increasingly divided over the Israel-Hamas conflict. The left becoming divided, okay? Now, this is according to WGN9. 150 different organizations from around the country have formed a collective protest in Chicago. I mean, you've got the police trying to stop everything. It's absolutely crazy. The president has failed once again to really bring peace and ceasefire. He was able to send quite a bit of weapons to Israel, 2,000 pounds of bombs, but he could not send crates of food and medicine, said Osama Jamal with the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations. The protesters are also upset with Harris for her favorable tone with Israel. The video below shows protests that have taken place throughout the country over the past year. The DNC protest will be one of the largest to date. And we've seen it. We saw what happened in Washington, where they were pulling down the American flag and setting it on fire. The American flags were pulled down in Union Square, I believe it was, in D.C., and set on fire, and pro-Palestinian or Palestinian flags were raised in Washington, D.C. by protesters. They defaced national monuments with graffiti, spelling out Hamas and everything else. Like, it has been a complete shit show, and it has gotten this far because the left has allowed it. The left has pushed it. The left has made this one of their major talking points for a lot of different people. And here we are with people protesting and rioting and everything, and they don't even know what they're protesting and rioting for. They just saw a hashtag pro-Palestine, hashtag free Hamas, hashtag whatever, and decided to jump on board because it's the cool thing to do if you're on the left. Bunch of effing morons, no matter how you want to look at it. The fact that they are destroying our country. Okay, anyway, here's the irony. Here is the trucks that have been brought in to build the wall. Y'all, build the wall around Chicago, around the DNC itself. Democrats are building a wall around their DNC convention center in Chicago. A wall. I cannot state that enough or emphasize that enough. The left wants to build a wall to protect themselves. I don't know, but remember when somebody else wanted to build a wall to protect the entire country and the left lost their ever-loving minds over it, and now here the left is going, oh, but no, because now it's going to affect me personally, so now we'd like that wall, please, and thank you so much. Morons. At the end of the day, effing morons. Look, I have so many more things to tell you guys. I'll be back with more later, or else this video will be way too long, and you guys will hate me because you'll be stuck here with me forever. Probably going to do a live stream for the DNC just as a heads up so everybody knows, if you guys want to be prepared for that tomorrow, because we need to stay on board with what's going on there. But I love you all immensely, Squirrel Tribe. Thank you for letting me have this conversation with you. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on all of it in the comment section below. And I will see you guys again later. Bye.